looks like Jeff hit a
Oh,
button and brought himself up. So,
I didn't hit anything. I think it just came up like this.
all right, all right.
It was on the
Here,
wrong one.
let's do this.
Oops. It's our first day.
Yeah. We're new. We're new. Oh, here we go. We're new. We're new.
All right. Welcome. Welcome to The Red Pill, the show where we talk about mysteries, alternative history, and the so-called conspiracy theories that very often they end up to be confirmation theories. Tonight we talk about public school and public education. And I know some people will say the educational system is good, is necessary, is bad, inefficient. I want to know from you guys, Jeff and Mike, did you have a good time at school? We all been through school.
It was a long time ago for me. I graduated high school in the year 1992, the year of our Lord, 1992. So it was back in the 1900s is when
Come on, Mike.
I was riding my horse to work to school, and it was 100 miles both ways uphill in the snow.
Uphill, both.
So no, I love school, but it was back in the day when they actually taught you shit.
Cool. What about you, Jeff? Did you
Yeah.
have a good time at school? Did you like school?
I like college more. It's because it was things I was interested in learning versus just being told you have to take this class and I didn't enjoy. So yeah, often I was asleep at my desk. I remember
Right.
times
I
where
remember that.
I'd be asleep at my desk and then I would twitch really bad and shake the whole desk.
Right.
I'm like, just pretend you're asleep. But no, it was not fun.
Did the teachers
Well-
care at all that you were sleeping?
Some of them did. Some of them would
See-
come with a ruler and just whack.
I went to the bad kid school in high school. It's I went to a regular elementary. I went to a regular junior high. But when I got to high school, I actually showed up for my first day of high school at the regular high school, and I had like long hair. I was a stoner.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had long hair back when I had hair. I had long hair, and I showed up, and I was on the honor roll. And the principal was like didn't even look at my transcripts or anything, and he just started going through, and he's like, "Oh, we have excellent special ed programs and stuff like that." And my mom got pissed, and she was like, "Did you even bother looking at his transcripts?" Because I mean, I was like I said, I was on the honor roll and freaking had excellent grades and
Right.
freaking. I was on the track.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Well, I was on the cross country track team, and I mean, I was actually a jock, and so anyway, I went there for like a month or two, and it was boring as shit because the school that I went to, it's just they went so slow, it was painful, and it was shit that I had already been taught, and so after a while, my buddies, all the other stoners, they were like they went to the alternative school, the bad kid school. And they were like, "Hey, you should come to our school because they let you have smoke breaks. We like take off and we go have like
Oh,
keggers
you
down."
were a stoner for real in high school.
What's that?
You were a stoner for real in high school.
Oh yeah. No, like I
Okay.
partied. Yeah, no, we were like freaking my mom and my stepdad. They were
Oh,
partiers.
could you smoke weed? Like I'm from a different country, so it's
Yeah.
like a different culture. So it was okay.
It was illegal, but we still did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, I know he
So,
did marijuana at school.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure. I could
Yeah.
see Jeff doing that. But no, I mean, like we used to. I mean, the teachers were just happy that we showed up because I mean, basically what it was is it was the school, like the teenage mothers, that were
Right.
pregnant, or if you skipped school too much at the regular school, or you got kicked out for smoking weed or cigarettes, or not showing up or whatever. That it was where they threw all the rejects. But
Mhm.
by going there, you can go as fast as you want. So the teachers, like after I was there for a couple of months, they're like, here's the teacher's edition, here's the student edition. Ask me if you have any questions. And so I basically taught myself trigonometry and calculus and all that stuff.
Right.
And then I got to a point to where I actually graduated a year early. And like half of my last year was electives. So all I did was get stoned and go into oil painting, and I did like
Right.
ceramics and went and did
You
an
had a
auto
good time.
mechanic.
Had a
Yeah,
good
no.
time.
So it was a really fun time.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. But you think that schools today are better or worse than when you went to?
Worse. Like Jeff. Like I mean, do you have any insight into the schools these days? I have some.
I
Yeah.
have a video to show about the current state of school, and we can take a look at that in a little bit.
And both my sisters, they're like 12 years younger than me. They teach at an elementary school, but it's one of the not charter school, but yeah, the like an alternative school.
Uh,
A bunch of the kids are, from rough
yeah.
families and neighborhoods and stuff. But and I went and had lunch with them last year when I was out there for my cousin's wedding, and man, some of these kids, yeah, you can tell they come from a rough place. But I they don't, and I've talked to them about some of the more liberal stuff that has been going on around the country.
Yeah.
And they don't do any of that bullshit, thank God. Um, but I don't know that. Have you guys seen that thing? I think is in Minnesota or Wisconsin with the doll that has removable parts that they're gonna teach
No.
kids about. Yeah, yeah,
But I got a video I'd like to show if you can share my screen over there.
yeah.
It's a 2 minute video about a school that parents are not happy about it. Let's take a look.
Ooh, I was on NBC News.
A pride event at a Los Angeles elementary school met with protest and police.
Get out of here. Get out of my face.
Tensions running high outside of Sataquai Elementary School Friday, where the school kicked off Pride Month with an optional assembly that included a video reading of the children's book, The Great Big Book of Families. The book features all types of families, including ones with two dads or moms.
Stop grooming our kids!
Parents against the assembly wearing shirts that say no sexualizing our kids and parental choice matters, urging parents to keep their kids at home.
This is a peaceful protest against LAUSD. LAUSD needs to stop grooming our kids.
The school district is standing by its decision with support from anti-protesters.
I think it's great, especially for my daughter to see representation of our family. It's just all inclusive, which means she knows that Rainbow Day is all about love and accepting
All about
everyone,
love.
no matter skin color, where they come from.
There is no sex education specific to the book that's being read today. And it portrays a reality that is not only common, it is real to many of our kids.
California has the largest LGBT
So really quick, like if you could pause it.
to the nation.
Sure.
Yeah, it's whenever we're like showing videos like this, about every 10 or 15 seconds, you want to pause it and kind of talk about, what's going on.
Sure.
So yeah, no, I mean, this is one of many things that is happening in the schools. I have two of my parents, two of my step parents, and actually my sister are all teachers, career teachers. And my mom and my stepdad actually retired from being a teacher. And some of the stories that I hear of, just basically people graduating high school and not being able to read. I mean,
Right.
not, not being able to, I mean, they literally cannot read. and they're letting them graduate high school, and it's because of like an affirmative action shit, and that leave no kid behind, where it's just like, oh, okay, well, we don't want them to feel bad about themselves, so we're going to let them graduate even though they don't know basic English, basic math, whatever.
Yeah, dude. When that guy was saying, oh, what represents our family and stuff, that's something that you teach them at home. You don't need a school system to teach them about LGBTQ and all that shit. It's that's not what they should be teaching. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a guy that goes around with these index cards, and it has like a paragraph on it, and he asks these people,
I'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, just read it. And what does it mean?
And these 20-year-olds, they're just like, I don't know that word, or they try and say it and it's totally off, and I'm like, oh my god, these people are so dumb.
Yeah, I've seen those videos. Yeah, like what does it mean? Like what is the meaning of this word, or how can you read this word?
Oh god, it's so bad.
Do you remember Howard Stern? He had a show saying like, are you smarter than a fifth grader or something like this? So he would get like adults, and he would have
the game show,
high school questions and equations, or things that you were supposed to learn when you were 8, and he would ask adults those questions, and most of them would not be.
I didn't do it.
People, that's what happens when people mess with my settings. So things get messed up. So anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. So have you seen, Mike, those videos of adults or young people? They cannot read cursive anymore. Have you seen that? They're not able to read cursive any longer.
Yeah.
What time? No, and can't tell time on a regular.
Oh yeah, clock. Yeah. They cannot tell the time.
Clock. Yeah, on an analog clock.
Oh my god. Oh.
So no, it's gotten bad out there. So no, there is a serious. It makes me wonder, what the hell are we paying? And I was talking to my nephew. We were doing some clearing at the new property today, and I was actually talking to him, and I was like, why don't we just 12-year school is for people that have the aptitude to go to college, or or higher learning, STEMs, anything that has to do with STEM, mathematics, sciences, things like that. If they're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, then okay, taxpayer will pay for you to go to school for 12 years. But if you're a fucking idiot, or you just don't have the aptitude for it, or just don't desire to go to that much school, and maybe you just do elementary and junior high, learn how to read and write, basic math, things like how to balance a checkbook, how to bring back home ec, how to do your own laundry, how to cook your own meal, and then send them to a vocational school where they learn how to be an electrician, a plumber, do concrete work, be an auto mechanic, be an aircraft mechanic, whatever. It's just have it to where it branches off, to where it's like, all right, these people, cool, we're going to keep investing in these people, but these people obviously are not taking advantage of the taxpayers' money, and they're not here to learn. Because if you're graduating high school and you can't read, you wasted a shit ton of taxpayer money.
Or is the system designed to be that way?
And the education that those people that have the aptitude would improve because smaller class sizes.
Right. But is it possible that the school system is designed to be that way, to dumb people down into being more controllable? They are not aware of things. They're not aware. Yeah. They cannot read cursive anymore, for Christ's sake.
I think it's become that.
Yeah, they cannot tell the time. I saw a video of a guy saying, oh, if you don't know how to tell the time because it's analog and not digital, here's a trick. There is actually a video about this. The guy is teaching kids how to do it. You go on, bear with me, you go on ChatGPT, you take a picture of the clock, and then you ask it, what time is it?
Oh man.
So
Really?
some people are relying on AI to know what time is it. Like if you have like that kind of clock, of course you have your phone, you can check it on your phone, but
God,
well,
that's a damn shame, man. These kids are gonna be just even dumber. I feel bad.
if you had kids, Jeff, would you send them to school,
No.
regular school,
Nope.
or would you homeschool your kids?
I do homeschool. Yep. That's the plan. Because I've seen plenty of people, and I know people who successfully have done it and are currently doing it with their kids. So, and a lot of them, I think almost all of them that have done it, also haven't had their kids vaccinated, and they've told me
Oh, yeah.
that their kids are healthier than all the other kids around them. So, yeah. But I know in
Yeah.
California that's going to be quite a challenge to do because they kind of force you to have your kids shot up like that. So
I was checking in on David really quick. He's on Crypto Verdict with
is he
with
giving it to him?
that's what it looks like. Giving it the old 1-2 because you got four XRP people, and then him and Scott from Longview Compute that are Canton folks, and not as bullish on XRP. So yeah, they're going at it. Actually, you know what? Let me bring it up real quick. Let's watch it
Oh,
for a
Scott's
second.
on. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Look at CC token, there's real economic utility, real economic value there. So I think it's just a matter of time before CC massively outperforms XRP. And I would go so far as to say, and this is my final thing, I think that CC will surpass XRP in market cap over the next 24 months, and not by a little bit, by a lot.
Wow, 24. That's got to be the clippable take. So, David, with the polls, there's definitely some. I'm not going to talk about it yet because we got 3 more minds to talk.
The guys are itching.
So, Maximus Crypto,
Yeah.
you talked about XRP outperforming CC. Floor is yours.
Absolutely. So a disclaimer: by no means at all I'm against CC. Scott's got to do this all the time too. He's always like, by no means I'm against XRP. So let's just make that clear. All right, whole CC came into roughly around the 7-cent range. I'm still pretty happy with it, right? All right. With that said, I understand that they are a juggernaut when it comes to DTCC. It seems as though them and Hyperledger Besu are the chosen ones, especially when it comes to October coming up. Nobody's denying that. And if you do deny it, Yuval is going to snipe you on X. Just put that out there. All right. With that also said, I also had to look at the things that most people aren't talking about. And that is this. There's been something that's been brought up numerous times about the concept of, like, for example, Bank of England and how they can move more in one single day than Bitcoin can in an entire year. Well, when I look at some of the statements from James Wallace of Ripple, again, I cannot deny that in the actual official documents, you have.
See, like, one thing that people need to realize about Canton is it hasn't had a bull run yet.
Yeah, not at all.
And so, XRP has had a bull run, multiple bull runs, and it's had, like, in its first bull run, it like fucking had massive gains. So, Canton, I mean, it's definitely not a micro cap, but it has a lot more room to move. And that momentum, you start seeing that thing running, and people start FOMOing into it. You could definitely see, see it do a nice little run. And depending on what it does when it flips deflationary, which, like, what was it yesterday? It almost hit 0.9. So once it hits 1,
oh shit,
that's equilibrium, and that's when it flips deflationary. And I'm not saying that means price go up, but that's what it has meant for a lot of projects out there with similar tokenomics, like Hype and other projects that have that burn mint mechanism. So let's see what they got to say.
Looking at Zenjin, does anybody even know what that is? basically what that is that's like Japan's version of what? Fedwire. And I understand that these old systems are old systems, but the key thing is to bridge those old systems, those traditional systems, into Web3, because we're clearly not in Web3 yet. I know that people keep throwing that around. We're in Web3. We're not in Web3. We're in roughly like 2.8, give or take. So we bridge that in. Those don't just go away. You know how long it takes for those systems to go away? It probably would take a minimum of 50 to 75 years, right? Shout out to Ray
75
Gallio.
years.
He's covered some of these things. So when I look at a global RTGS based off the CBDC private ledger, and I already see evidence that the XRPL is built on that, that is a major, major win. And just two key things. I'll make this quick because I know you want to chime in. I'll state this. May's white paper from the BIS, the elasticity of money, literally labels Ripple's main product backwards, liquidity on demand. What's their main product? On-demand liquidity. And how about this brand new discovery? I just covered this in a video not that long ago. Christine Lagarde in June was featured in a BIS white paper that most people didn't talk about. It literally laid out Ripple's use case to the T, because they realized that the central banks have a liquidity problem that they, by definition, says in quotes, is impossible for them to do and impossible for them to answer. I understand we're all focused on DTCC, and rightfully so. But there is things out of Europe with Euroclear.
Oh, of course. Moneymaker's going to freaking always be in there.
Wait until XRP does this thing. And yes, I do think it's going to outperform Canton. But I still think Canton can easily do $2 to $3. I will agree with Scott on that. Those are my statements.
Yeah, $2 to $3. That's pretty bold. That's a clippable moment right there. Because if it's sitting around 10 cents, that's massive for rewards. But XRP, maybe it goes $20, $30, $40, $50 plus. And we will try to analyze that by the end of this. We still got a lot more to discuss. But Scott from Longview Compute, I see you drinking out of your Canton mug. I saw you.
Honestly, anytime I hear bullish XRP news, the first thing I always ask myself, and the first thing I always do, is I go digging to find out how exactly is XRP or the XRPL used, because there is a lot of functions, a lot of services that Ripple and Ripple Prime offer that have nothing to do with the XRP token or the XRP ledger. There's actually quite a bit that they do that doesn't even involve either of those. So just because something's comes out and it's bullish for Ripple and that Ripple's doing this and they're partnering with them, it doesn't always mean XRP.
They don't even always include. They often don't include the XRP token in the projects. They have a bunch of projects and initiatives and things that it doesn't really include XRP. For if anything, it has no value capture.
Well, let's hear what Scott has to say.
It's 2.5. That's what they're focusing on right now. That's the direction. That's the momentum. Anything that's attached to stable coins is probably what's going to win in the future. But taking aside from that, even how is XRP going to gain value in a stable coin environment when the gas is so cheap and it's not being necessarily used for a liquidity pool or on-demand liquidity? It's being focused more in collateral use cases moving forward. We even heard it from some of Ripple. So I just don't see how it's going to appreciate to a high value and have a higher ROI when it's even its own team is starting to look at different use cases because it's not performing an ODL.
All right, very good takes. You addressed both Jake and Max. That was awesome. But we got Rue. So Rue, you you like both projects. Earlier before this, you had Canton back there. You switched it to Zebit to remain neutral.
I gave Scott a mic drop. Mic drop.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even want a part of this, but since you gave it to me.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. You're good.
No. I would say the use case of XRP might be store value, right? Bitcoin's done pretty good with that. And I'm also on the agentic AI train. Like, that's a whole new realm of people. You can drop a whole world of virtual people. And
so let's go around the horn. So Jeff, like, as far as XRP, what are your thoughts on it? Oh, no, let's not talk about XRP. I mean, what this cycle? What are some of the Actually, you know what? Let's get back on topic. Screw it. Let's bump out of here.
Well, I will say Canton reminds me a lot of Ethereum in the early days, and Ethereum didn't have the tokenomics set up like Canton does. So I will say, looking at it as far as an early, because I remember when Ethereum was under $15, and man, kicking myself now for not buying it, and seeing Canton and them how they're going to how they're positioning themselves, and all the networks or all the projects that are building on it. And not all of them will have a token, which makes it more bullish for the CC token.
Yeah.
So, it's a no-brainer for me.
It's promising, if anything. But I can tell you that XRP is definitely not a store of value. I can tell you that for a fact. Because I have a hard time believing that Bitcoin itself is a good store of value.
No, 100%.
But XRP is definitely not a store of value.
So how's your nephew enjoying the project out there? Are you teaching him some
seems to be enjoying it so far. It's I don't think he likes we've been trying to, well, I get up at like 5:30.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get him used to waking up at 7, because once we start doing a lot of the constructions, the heavy construction stuff, and as soon as we start giving the the kayak tours and all that stuff, we're going to have to be getting up early, because we're going to have to get up and get everything ready, get everything cleaned, inventory, because whenever the customers show up, everything needs to be ready. Everything needs to be set out. Everything needs to be ready to go, packed up, where they just show up, jump in the van or the truck and off we go. So, there's a lot, it's easier when you're just used to that routine.
Yeah. Yeah. So what all entails, getting things built over there? Because you have to meet with contractors, and what, you had something brought in today or yesterday? What was that?
Yeah. So they brought some heavy.
There's a lot of like managing and
yeah. I'm basically acting as the general contractor, so I'm organizing all the different, because like we're having somebody basically renovate the bridge, because we have to be able to access the property, and so they're just renovating the bridge, and then we're having new power line installed underground. And then I have the septic guys coming in to do the septic system and do some clearing, and the well driller. So we're going to do at least 180 foot well on the property. And then I have the construction crew that's going to be renovating the main cabin, but basically just coordinating everybody to make sure that this is done before this shows up and that kind of thing. And
it's a full-time job. Sounds like it. It's a full-time job.
Oh yeah, no. It's, between this channel, doing the crypto channel, this channel, and running that, and yeah. It's there's a reason I get up at 5 in the morning.
Cool. You don't learn those skills in school, man.
No. I learned this kind of stuff in the military. Being able to be organized and structured, and have routines, and because I have ADHD. But, because I'm a creature of habit, Jeff knows, he's come up and visited, it's like I get up at a certain time, I go and I feed my cat. I make, start the water for my tea, and I jump on the computer, and, I do, have a couple of things that I do while I'm waiting for the water to heat up. Then I go and pour my tea, and then I, bring it back, and I get the thumbnail and the freaking, studio ready for the show. And it's just, everything is repetitive so that I don't, get distracted. And if I do get distracted, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. If I see a shiny object, it's like, okay, Mike, get back on task. This is what's next. Because if you're just always doing, and that's why the military does that. In the military,
that's why the military is a good education instead of school.
It really is. I mean, for people like me that didn't have any structure as a kid, it was fucking perfect. Being forced to get up at a certain time, you went to bed at a certain time, you ate at this time. This is when you exercise. When they tell you to be somewhere, that's where you are, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And yeah, military is awesome.
Just think of the results. Like, think of people that and they've been through regular school, and people that have been through the regular military. What is like a better outcome?
See, Crispy says multitasking all day, get 2 birds stoned at once, or however that goes.
I mean, pretty much everyone that I know that's been through the military, I would say over 90% of them have a crazy structure and discipline, and their place is nice and orderly and clean. And although I didn't go in the military, my dad was in the Army, and growing up, we had to get up early, do our chores, and keep things clean. And that's how I've always kept my places anywhere I've lived. Get my room orderly and organized, and because I hate living in a mess, and it just helps keep things, like Mike's saying, if you stay on task, have certain things that you do, like a structure, it certainly helps with your willpower throughout the day, where you're not, fucking off and, I'll put it off for tomorrow. It's
So you said
helps.
that 90% of people that you know that have been through the military, they had a better outcome. What about 90% of people that have been through regular school?
I know a lot of people that have gone, through regular school and gone to college and then dropped out, or didn't go to college and then just fucked around. And I mean, it's kind of iffy.
Yeah, I never trust an institution to help me with learning anything.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever people talk about,
you need to specify, Jay-Z, when is the retreat training that you are taught? I was like, I'm not fucking French. I don't retreat, bitch. No, it's I know what you mean. You mean like the getaway, like the vacation.
When are you launching it? What's the goal?
So me and my nephew and my brother, his dad, my brother is bringing up a bunch of his employees and friends from Texas, from the law firm, in October. And that's when I was inviting you and David up to basically, do the pilot. We're going to try it out and, basically, get you all to do like reviews and questionnaires and, be like, hey, this is the stuff that was cool. This is the stuff that sucked, whatever. It basically what's called an after action report in the military. It's it's called an AAR, and it's 3 ways to improve. Three things to fix. Or 3 things to improve. 3 things that went well, and then you can have like an open forum and stuff like that. But basically, it's so that each evolution, the training or the experience gets better. So it's something I plan on doing with like all of our experiences that we're going to do, because we're going to do hiking, camping, the kayak, both day and overnight hiking and kayaking. We're actually going to, me and my nephew have been cutting trails all over the 30 acres, and it attaches to national forest land. So there's like endless roads and stuff. So basically it's going to be like this endless mountain bike, experience, to where people can ride their mountain bike for, hundreds, if not thousands of miles, and never, have their wheels hit the same road twice. We're going to have trail running, cliff diving, all the airsoft stuff I was talking about, but basically like even whitewater rafting. But we're looking at this spring doing like a soft launch of some of the stuff, and then if that goes well, then we'll roll out more of the services, and it's going to be a slow rollout just to make sure that we don't try to do too much too fast.
How do you cut into those trails? Do you brush cut them and you keep going up? How do you do that?
So there's loppers, so it's basically kind of like big scissors.
Okay.
And they can cut through like a branch about like that, nothing too crazy. And then you have to come through, if there's other stuff that you want to get out that's bigger, you have to come through with a chainsaw. And so we just been going through with loppers right now because it's fire season right now. So you don't want to be running a chainsaw. You might start a forest fire. And so we're just going through with loppers right now, and anything that we can rip out by hand. And we'll come through like in October, November, when it's when the snow starts to fly and stuff, and we'll chainsaw stuff out.
That's a lot of cutting, isn't it? It's a lot of cutting.
Oh yeah. No, it's 30 acres that we own, and then there's no, dude. Like I've actually some of the pictures we've been taking. Like when I first started, I was starting to look a little chubby. I mean, I'm 52, and well, a little chubby for me. And then yeah, now like I'm getting like a lot leaner, and like we took a picture today. In fact, I'll share it to the node, the node.pro in the community section. But yeah, dude, if I can definitely getting in much better shape.
Nice. Oh man, somebody in the crypto verdict chat had such kind words to say. The nerd or node network duo, Mike and this schmuck, are fucking delusional. They are like the people who hated
The
Michael
Nerd
Jordan.
Network.
They don't understand the power of relationships and trust. Ignorance. Oh man, that's so funny.
But you think that
someone said
XRP
David is
has
a liberal? Of course, he doesn't have any common sense.
Oh,
Oh my god!
I put love to hate from the chat. Hate.
But you think that XRP has can outperform Kenton that never had a bull market? I think that's not precise.
What's that?
One of the questions, like, will XRP outperform Kenton? And just like you said, Kenton never had a bull market. So it has a much better potential to outperform XRP.
That's the thing is, and
so
it's
let's say that Kenton works out a little bit, if at all, it will most likely outperform XRP, period.
Oh, and Jay-Z, I'll definitely keep the community in the loop. Whenever we launch it, maybe I'll do something to where, like we do like a discount. Like if you guys want to come up or something like that, you guys get a discount for for being part of the community or something.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you can have like a whole crypto financial course in the woods plus like some physical?
Shit.
If you could merge that, like the node.pro in the wild, the node.pro fit. I know. Yeah, like the node.pro hands-on, like real experience.
Well, it's basically what we want to have it.
If you're still an XRP holder after going through this.
Oh, if you're an XRP holder, I'm gonna like charge you double. Oh, I'm kidding.
Can you take him? You can't take him into Canada, can you? You can't.
Oh, you know what? The XRP people, I'll take them into Canada, and I'll be like, all right, now give me your passports. All right, you're not allowed in America. Damn commies.
How far are you from Canada, Mike?
Like maybe 15 minutes.
Oh wow, you're right on the border.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like the property, the new property, like if it was across the street, it would be touching the Canadian border, basically.
Oh wow, okay, that's cool. Should get really cold there. Should get really cold.
It can. I mean, last winter was pretty mild, but there was one winter that it got 30 below, and it was a Christmas Eve, and my pump house, that provides water for my cabin, it froze solid. I had a heat lamp in there and all kinds, like a propane heater trying to keep it warm, but it was 30 below. And so everything in there froze solid, and the pump, the pipes, everything exploded. And I don't mean like fucking, mushroom cloud, but, like all the pipes, like, splintered apart, and the pump, it was cast iron, it cracked. And so, I mean, it just, basically all of it was worthless. So basically, I sat out there in 30 below on Christmas Day, rebuilding my pump house so I could have water, and so it took me all of Christmas to do it, but I was able to get it knocked out.
Cool.
Yeah. Tell them the fun adventure we went on last December in the snow. We were slipping and sliding around.
Oh yeah, with my brother. Yeah, no, my brother came up. He's from California, and he's like never been in snow, and so we were.
And he was driving.
He had rented a car and was driving, and we were going up this hill, and it was covered in snow, and he was just trying to gun it, and he was just sliding towards the edge, and he got it to stop, and I was like, "You want me to drive?" And he was like, "Yeah," and so I got in there, and
we figured out it had 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, at first I went to go take off, and I was kind of crabbing up the hill like sideways, so that we were facing away from the side, And then I was like, is this thing like only 2-wheel drive? Because I mean, it was a really nice rental. It was a SUV. It was, I want to say it was like a
Tahoe?
Jeep something.
It was a
Oh no, it
Tahoe.
was a Tahoe. It was a fully loaded Tahoe, like high-end Tahoe. And I'm like, this thing doesn't have 4-wheel drive? And I looked down, there's a dial, and I freaking clicked it, and it went into 4-wheel drive and just whoop right up the freaking mountain. And I was like, motherfucker! I was laughing at my brother the whole rest of the day.
Oh, that was fun.
It was a good time, but yeah, no. Whenever whenever we launch that, we'll have to definitely let people know. But yeah, Jeff, if you want to come up in October, let me know.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the schedule looks.
Dude.
It's beautiful up there, man. It's so nice. There's only the sounds of the critters.
Oh yeah, dude. I fucking love sleeping with the windows open at night and listening, like depending on the time of year, like you're either listening to the frogs I'm always listening to the creek, just kind of freaking, it's maybe, I don't know, like 50 feet, that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can open the window here by where I work. And like right now I'm listening to the creek. And then when I'm sleeping back in the bedroom, I'll open the windows and it just lulls you to sleep. You got all the little freaking owls and, whatever critters are, out in the, got coyotes and wolves and just anything else that decides
Funny
to make
enough,
a noise.
like our topic is about education. I wonder if you get a kid going through this experience that you're describing, I think it's like a much better hands-on education. You can learn how to build stuff, how to build a fence, how to brush cutting and and then at school, what do they learn?
Too,
like fake history.
General contracting and
Yeah.
scheduling and seeing what it takes to put all these pieces together. Because it's not just, you're not just building a house, you're digging wells and having people bring in construction stuff. So you're having to manage things and organize things. And it's, a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, it sounds like those Mennonites, like Mennonites documentary. I think they're on YouTube.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like those old settlers, the Mennonites, the Amish, the Mennonites. So there is one documentary. It's on YouTube that they just go somewhere in America, like in the middle of they're looking for a land and say, yeah, we're gonna stay here, and they just settle there. And they have like a well, and they build a house, and they build a little farm, and they built everything from scratch. Why? Because they have like real hands-on knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
They didn't need like an architect or an engineer or all this kind of things that we think are so necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, and learning that stuff, I mean, think about back when people didn't have a way to ask somebody, how do I do this? You just trial and error.
Yeah.
You either build the house and then it falls apart and then you got to try again, figure things out. That it takes time, but eventually you get it right. You do better the next time. But man, there's a lot of value in doing things, fucking it up, and then doing it better the next time.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the school wants to teach you how to play the viola or the violin or the piano, instead of having doing something real with your hands.
But I don't want to learn piano. I want to learn guitar. No, this class is piano only.
And there's also that, yeah. It's like you got to learn that because that's what we got. And even the kind of music sometimes.
Or if you're an Asian household, you have to learn a certain musical instrument, or you have to take a certain set of classes because they want you to be a doctor or whatever. Then you get that forced upon you. That's a whole nother can of worms, man.
Yeah, but at least it's coming from the parents.
Dude,
the government.
This chat on Crypto Verdict, this chat is freaking lit, dude. Anybody that's watching right now, go ahead and pull up Crypto Verdict. Like if you have like 2 screens or something, just so you can like watch the chat. Like while we're chatting here, I'm watching the chat, and people are just going nuts. They are just like XRP people are just hating the shit out of Scott and David. And then like and all the couple of Canton people are freaking like going off about XRP. Dude, people are losing their shit in here. This is awesome.
Jesus.
The guy saying, "I hope Dave doesn't buy XRP."
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hope Dave doesn't buy XRP. Dude, get more than just that. Trust the research. David is trolling. They had to take him off camera so he could laugh. Also hope Dave doesn't actually buy XRP. No, dude.
Man.
Honestly, that's a huge red flag for me, and not just in crypto, like in life, and in with education. That the topic that we're talking about is if you can't question something or bring up anything contrary to like what's popular or accepted, that's my first indicator that I'm onto something. Because I mean, it's the same thing in the education system. With colleges and colleges used to be a place of civil discourse where it was encouraged to have differing opinions, and then you would have to have logical, fact-based debates over those topics, and it would strengthen everybody's understanding of that topic. Nowadays, if you disagree, you might fail all your classes because the professor is some liberal fuck that if you don't agree, that they're going to give you a bad grade.
Yeah, I don't know if college used to be like that, but that's before my time.
No, college used to be a place where they encouraged what they called civil discourse.
I understand. I understand. And I hope it used to be like that. But when I went to school and when I went to college, it was definitely not like that. It was just like, say, let's have a debate, let's talk about it. But they clearly have an agenda, for whatever is being discussed.
Yeah, thankfully, when I was in college, ITT Tech didn't offer all like history and science bullshit, because I was an engineering major and all I took was electronics and electrical engineering courses and
that's practical knowledge. Knowledge. Yeah. No, so it's not social sciences or something like that. Yeah.
Not gender studies or some bullshit.
Yeah. That's not about having a debate. That's about having an agenda and pretending that you have a debate,
Yeah. Yeah. And what Mike was saying, a while ago about, not in this episode, but in the past about these government loans that for financial aid and shit that they give out to just anybody. It's like, if you got to treat it like a business. Are these people going to be getting out?
I'm talking about basic education, K through 12. If after fucking elementary and junior high, a kid isn't fucking passing their classes and they can't read and do basic arithmetic,
they're not going to college.
You're going to a fucking vocational school. You're not even going to high school. But yeah, you're right, Jeff. All those grants and all the freaking student loans and fuck that. If you didn't make it through 12th grade and you don't have the aptitude, not everybody gets to go to college. And if you do, it's on your own dime. It's not on the taxpayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If it were like a real investment, businesses would invest on it and they would lend their money. So eventually the students would be profitable enough to pay them back and they would invest it like this. And that's not what happens. Let's say I have a company and I say, I'm going to invest like $100K into this student and this guy because later on I'm going to hire him or I'm going to lend him the money. But that's not what happens. It's just like grants and pretty much working with governmental money, which is they create out of thin air.
Man, I got a buddy who's 31 or 30 or 31, and he's an electrician, and he makes $120 an hour.
Yeah.
And he didn't go to school.
Yeah.
You know, he went through the
If
whole
he's a journeyman, if he's a
apprentice
journeyman
and
electrician, absolutely.
yeah, he's doing really well for himself.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You know, freaking, I have a buddy right now. He's doing I was in the military with him. He retired, but he's done electrical on the side like his whole life, and so he's a journeyman electrician now, and got a job at one of the AI freaking data centers that's being built there in Utah, doing the electrical work for it. So like commercial shit. And he is getting like, and his nephew, who he freaking had as his apprentice forever, and you know he ended up getting licensed. They're making like a couple of $100 an hour. It's like $250 or $300 an hour or some shit. He's making, you know, like I'm wanting to say that he was bringing home like 40 or 50 grand a month or something like that. It was insane, but yeah, he's just raking it in because they want that thing built as fast as fucking possible.
Didn't we have an episode about data centers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of funky. I heard somebody try and strong arm that topic and say that it's bringing cherry picking certain areas, that it's bringing all these jobs to, and lowering the property taxes in certain areas.
Right.
And
I can tell you what happened here. I live in a little small town called Murphy in North Carolina, and we have a local newspaper called Cherokee Scout, and it was bought by a big corporation, and now he has like data center propaganda, meaning, oh, learn how this is an amazing thing for the county and all that. So now the local newspaper is saying, yeah, that's amazing. It's going to create jobs and bring in more money. So it's, well, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? So I think it's all propaganda. I think the educational system's about propaganda. I think the newspaper, it's all propaganda.
Have you talked to any of the people around you in the community about the data centers?
Oh, they hate it. People hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people hate it. But the newspaper is saying like, oh, that's amazing. You can get a job there. It's going to be good for whatever, you know, for the town. It's going to bring in money. Like, it's all propaganda. It's all BS.
Man.
And we don't know what's going on inside of those data centers. They're not mining Bitcoin. What is going on inside of there? They're not mining Bitcoin.
Man,
they used to, not anymore.
I should see about getting a job in a data center so I can kind of be I can infiltrate.
That. Yeah.
Because I've built, you know, I worked in doing networking and communication, building out data rooms and servers and shit like that. So
you could have like Project Veritas. Remember Project Veritas?
Yeah.
You have your own personal Project Veritas. Yeah.
Project Data Center.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can finally know what the hell's going on there.
I could get the red pill scoop going with my little
meta glasses
Ray-Ban meta glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Because why do they need? They say they're surveillance centers, that they're processing all the data, but I don't know. I have no idea. People say they know what's going on in there. What's going on in there?
All these flock cameras going up everywhere.
Okay, that's a good point.
That weren't voted on by the people. It was just rolled out. And Josh Hawley actually came out with a statement yesterday or today, something talking about these companies need to show I forget what it was. Let me look for it. But you got to think, all these flock cameras going up and the data centers rolling out, they're going to need all that all these data centers to process everything and to store all of it. But it's not a coincidence it's all happening right now. Yeah, Josh Hawley launches probe into flock safety over national surveillance concerns. Let's see. He said this has led to abuse and misuse of personal data due to the woeful lack of safeguards. And he said that where is it at? He wants law enforcement to have Oh, he's demanding to know who has access to the personal data of Americans captured on flock cameras. He wrote a letter to the Flock CEO that the company has assembled an unprecedented national surveillance network of more than 120,000 cameras across 49 states. So the majority of Americans captured in those records did nothing wrong. And instead of serving discrete local investigations as contemplated by our constitutional processes and safeguards, these camera networks harness artificial intelligence to pool what they capture into a national database that customers can search. So, yeah. Who is holding the data? And yeah, people have been wrongly accused of stuff and arrested, and police have misused this technology to spy on people and their partners.
But that's the thing, Jeff. Why do they need those data centers? Because think of like the NSA and the FBI and the CIA and all those intelligence operations, or Meta, where they have like how many gigas of data? It's like it's a lot, and that's been going. Like, just think of YouTube. I remember like some data from a while ago that YouTube had like 30,000 new videos per day. It's probably like 100K per day now that are uploaded onto YouTube.
Yeah.
So they need like a mega operation in terms of data collection. So that's already going on. My point is, why, on top of all of that, they need the data centers, you know?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about the data center and the flock camera conspiracy.
But there might be a correlation
right
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that kind of storage, as you know better than I do, like cloud computing and cloud storage is a real thing for the consumer, but it exists somewhere physically, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So that has to be stored. Okay. So for how long have we had Dropbox?
Yeah,
for how long have we had Google Drive? For how long have we had, like, those services? They've been around forever and they store a lot of data. So
when it's not like CCTV, where a lot of stores that have security cameras set up, I think the footage gets deleted after 30 or 60 days. Make space. So a lot of places, they'll have to delete their old footage. And but now you get all these data centers, you got cameras up everywhere. You're not going to have to worry about that. And then the flock system will sell you a bundle of goods saying, hey, use our security footage and you don't have to worry about deleting your
fucking
stuff.
flock that camera.
Flock that
camera can flock off.
Flock off. Flock it to me now.
That's right.
There's a whole trend. There's a whole trend of guys going there and destroying the flock cameras, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're cutting the things and they're like...
Yep. Oh, what was it? I saw a video. It was for artistic purposes, and they had a kid holding balloons, and they were all masked up, and they had the kid standing in front of the flock camera with the balloons, and they were taking photos, and it was like this expression of art. And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. The kid's gonna get a felony before. But yeah, they've been arresting people for ripping them down, and
oh, they are arresting people for destroying the flock
some
cameras.
dude, I think,
in
some other state. I want to say Florida, but yeah, he tore it down with his truck. But man, you just can't. Nobody voted for that. Like, I don't know anybody. Everybody I've talked to about flock cameras and stuff, they don't want it. You know, it's put in this illusion of, oh, we're protecting people. Yeah, but are you really? Are you really? You know?
I think the CEO is really clever and he's just playing the game, you know? He's really clever. He really knows what he's doing. Because whenever he's questioned about anything, You've seen those interviews? Yeah, it's like, oh, come on. We're just looking after the safety of people. We're looking after the safety of children. He says like all the right things, you know?
Yep.
He says all the right things. And how can you dispute that? Do you want more safety or less safety? Oh, I want more safety. Okay, so, well, you got to, and he doesn't even say like, there's a price to pay. He said, well, that's what you're looking for. You know, that's what we're doing. He says all the right things. He knows how to play the game very well.
You know, I'll say those are people who can't protect themselves, who can't make sure that they are safe or do what's necessary to make sure that they stay safe. You're going to have freak accidents. People are going to come up and, there was a video of some young black kid who walking out of a liquor store turned around and shot these two black women point blank, and one of them died right there. And, you can't always prevent that. So freak accidents happen. People go do stupid shit. But at the end of the day, you can protect yourself. And I think the people who can't make sure that their life is safe, and they're the ones that want that extra protection.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the video that Tyler Oliveira, he put a private investigator after the CEO of Flock Camera? Because they were surveilling the people they were Yeah. Just type in like Tyler Oliveira Flock Cameras. And he had like one of those videos. It's like a short documentary.
Oh, that kid.
Yeah. It's been a while, like a few weeks ago.
I've seen some of his stuff, like clips of his stuff, but
yeah, he put a private investigator after.
Oh my God, the first thing, the pinned video on his YouTube is inside India's poop throwing festival.
Yeah.
No, that's not a festival I want to go to. Okay. Oh, I exposed Flock. Okay, yeah, I'll have to watch that because
you're gonna like that. It's very entertaining. You're gonna like that.
Yeah, man, and that makes me think about this whole Nick Shirley Act that Newsom signed into law. That's gonna fine journalists for violating certain rules. I got to look back at what exactly is in this Nick Shirley law, but basically if you go and try and expose fraud by going to certain places, and you could get fined. Okay. And I wonder if they'll use cameras to track people who are these investigative journalists like Nick Shirley. They're like, oh, we've been tipped off that Nick Shirley's in your city. We'll get the Flock cameras to identify where they're at all times. And then we can send police to the Leering Center if he shows up there. That I could see where that can be used against investigative journalists. And if they go somewhere, they're going to get met with law enforcement.
Remember, I think I mentioned in a previous episode, the previous show, the psychiatrist in Canada that wrote up somebody, and then the police pulled them over and said, hey, you are mentally unstable. And Joe Rogan shared a video. There's a full video on it. You're going to like that one. And he ended up institutionalized that evening, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. It was one of the episodes last week, I think, or was
very recent. Yeah, something very recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was saying or doing some weird things online, and they said somebody recommended him be evaluated, and they took him right there on the spot. And it's like, I do not want to live in a country that is doing that. And they say, they keep calling Trump a dictator and stuff, but you have rogue agents, whether it's ICE, whether it's police or whatever, but
psychiatrists,
but he's not having people round up.
It's the brain police. If you're not thinking in a way that we think it's right, we're gonna put you in an institution.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's been going on for a while. You know, it's the thought police, really.
Yeah, and that's probably why, man, they're making the education system dumbed down to where kids will just comply.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, should we wind down, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they still going at it over there?
Oh, they're still going at it. But yeah, no, let's go around the horn. So Paulo, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Don't send your kids to school. I never learned anything that's really useful at school. All the things that I learned that matter, I learned through a guy, a teacher, like the nodes. Say, oh, I believe those guys, but not an institution. I don't trust institutions for knowledge, and I never did.
Absolutely. Jeff, closing thoughts.
Yeah, I think homeschooling, learning from people, and you can have the one thing I hear about homeschooling from people is, well, your kids won't interact with other kids, and that's bullshit, because you can take them to certain clubs and certain extracurricular things where they're exposed to other kids, so they don't have to be around a classroom full of 30 fucking kids all day just to be socially what, I can't think of the word, but to where they're not socially awkward. So, homeschooling, I plan on doing that when I have kids, and taking them, having people like Mike teach them how to build a cabin where they learn real life skills.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what he built was pretty incredible. And if you're a kid and you put them through hard work like that and give them hard lessons like, okay, you fucked this up. What did you learn from that? What can you do better next time? And there's a lot of value in that, man.
Oh, trust me. I mean, freaking, I made a bunch of mistakes building this thing. I can't count how many things I had to like tear it out and redo. And it was trial and error, because I'd never built a fucking house before. I mean, I did a little bit of carpentry, a little bit of framing, and a little bit of roofing, and a little bit of this, a little bit of electrical, but enough to be dangerous. Not to build a house, but yeah, it was interesting. But
it's better than just sending your school. Better than sending your kids to like drag queen history hour or something.
Oh,
they
right.
have like drag queen story hour that you have like a drag queen reading to your kids. That's certainly better.
I think that if I was to have kids, I don't have any kids, so it's hard for me to weigh in on this too hard. But if I had kids, I would homeschool. Up where I'm at, there's a lot of parents that homeschool, and I live in a very conservative area, and I don't mean conservative like they're Republican. They're just very conservative. They have old school values. A handshake means something. If you shake somebody's hand and give them your word, it's better than a legal piece of paper. If they say, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this at this time, they show up and they do that at that damn time. If they say that they're going to, pay you something or, whatever, people fucking, people's word matter where I'm at, and they don't like what they see in the schools, and they're homeschooling their kids. And some of the, older people in the area are retired school teachers and, doctors and military and, things like that. And, they're stepping up because, a lot of the older people, they're just looking for something to do and, be around kids, and like, they love teaching and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for just separating yourself from this bullshit that governments have built, when it comes to money, when it comes to banking system, when it comes to education, and when it comes to, I mean, anything like the water system. I mean, we're constantly finding out there's fluoride that's basically a toxic byproduct, that they were trying to figure out something to do with, and so they just basically convinced everybody it's good for your teeth and shit, and started dumping it in the water as a nutritional additive.
And that's decentralization, isn't it? What you just described in the educational system, financial system.
No,
That's
just like stop,
decentralization.
be self-sovereign. Get to where, like if something happened, if I crank up my generator and my water, my water stays running, my lights stay on, my internet works, like everything that you wouldn't even know that there wasn't, power and that the world had stopped, moving. So no, there's something to be said for that. Cause freaking anything bad happens in the city, everything is tied to the grid, your sewer, your water, your freaking power, you name it. So shit can get bad in a city quick, and I've seen it, in my overseas excursions. So I would educate your children in real shit, because either way they're going to be better off. They're going to be, better mannered. They're going to be more intelligent. They're going to be less, people are going to be able to influence them less, because that's really all they teach in schools now, is how to comply. It is how to follow rules. That's all they fucking do. It's basically a machine to create machines, so that you go and work and you freaking produce. That's really all it is. So if you want your kids to be truly successful, you need to fucking homeschool them, unless you're a total idiot or a moron, and then find somebody who's not to homeschool your kids.
And if school worked, the best students would have the best outcomes in life. And is kind of the opposite of what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Well, I appreciate you, gentlemen. I think I'm going to sit back and I'm freaking going to laugh at this chat and freaking watch Crypto Verdict. And yeah, you all have a great evening, and we appreciate you all for showing up. If you have any ideas for shows, I mean, like, Jeff, Paulo, chat, if there's a topic that you want us to talk about, let us know. Cause I mean, we've been doing this show for a really long time. Like before it was the red pill, it was freaking bullshit and bourbon. And I mean, it's been around for a couple of years. And so we've talked about like psychedelics. We've talked about, war.
Didn't talk about George Soros.
We've talked a bunch about George Soros. We've talked about fucking everything. So if you have something new, throw it at us. I would love to talk about it. And if you're interested on coming on sometime, let me know, and we can chat. And if you're an interesting person that is going to bring value to the conversation, we're happy to have you on. So appreciate you, gentlemen. Yeah. I will.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jeff. See you next time. Bye bye.
Veteran Crypto.
Later.